And we're almost done with the Sonic the Hedgehog Marathon Volume 2, folks. Only the games for today, well, just like my review of Sonic Triple Trouble, I have very less experience with these games, and it's probably a good thing because these two games in today's review, they're not exactly good, for lack of a better term. And the names of one of the games, it has no relation to the game that I reviewed back in 2017, which was Sonic 3D Blast. So right now in the Chronicles, we're going to be looking at two not-so-good Sonic games, which are Sonic Labyrinth and Sonic Blast. Let's get into it. Oh, these two games. I was not looking forward to playing or replaying them for this review after watching videos from Screw Attack or The Great Clement, because these games are not what I considered good. Back in 2017, in my very first Sonic Marathon, I capped it off with my Sonic 3D Blast review and gave it a mediocre score, and the game itself, regardless of version, didn't really click with me, save for their respective soundtracks. And the only time I would find myself replaying 3D Blast again was when a ROM modder makes enhancements to the game to make it more enjoyable. Sega thought it might be a good idea to reintroduce the isometric concept, and what comes next after 3D Blast is Sonic Labyrinth for the Game Gear, which I chose not to play until this review, and watching the Great Clement's playthrough of the game to save myself the trouble, especially when the plot involves Sonic having his speed being stripped away by Eggman. In fact, I questioned Dr. Eggman's intelligence as a whole given the game's story. After a whole day of running around in peace as usual, Sonic retreats back to his house, which I assume is the treehouse he built in a day. One night, Dr. Eggman sneaks inside his treehouse and swapped his speed shoes for fake ones, which not only locks away Sonic's speed, but the shoes will remain stuck with him unless he finds the Chaos Emeralds and use their powers to unlock them. This is where I would ask what Dr. Eggman's damage is. He's already an idiot once during 8-bit Sonic 2, when Dr. Eggman saves Sonic from falling to his doom at the end of Underground Zone Act 3. This was his chance to kill him off, and it would have been a sweet victory for him. What, does he have a guilt trip complex like when Tom had in the 1941 Tom and Jerry short The Night Before Christmas, when Tom was feeling guilty of leaving Jerry out in the cold? Even the usual nemesis of that red plumber doesn't have feelings for the forces of light. That's how a villain should be. If you wish to get anywhere in this game, the closest method to doing so is performing a spin dash. You're guiding Sonic in a series of mazes where you have to find 3 keys before exiting the level. You do have a timer, and each key you grab adds more seconds to the timer. Sometimes you gotta remember not to spin dash so much and know when to actually walk slowly on foot, because not many people who played the game, if they did at all, would have mazes without rails that can send you to instant kill death traps. But on many situations, you have no choice, as spin dashing is the only way to defeat enemies as you can't jump at all. With the exception of the boss fights, the keys also act as your rings in the game, as you can sustain damage as long as you have at least one key, while the rings in the boss matches act like they do in any other Sonic game. Your cause of death in regular stages are likely from time over or falling into a pit, while in boss stages, death will come from collision when you don't have any rings in your person. There are items in the game in the form of cycling triangles, and you gotta remember which triangle formation gives out the power-up you wanted, like the speed boost, which increases movement speed, while also giving an unnecessary and stupid seizure-inducing sequence. Personally, I wouldn't recommend this game at all. While the game itself is short, the real problem is how you control Sonic. Spin dashing is the only means you have of speeding up at all, but it can also be a double-edged sword, meaning you have to be aware of how long you can rev up your attack and know when to let go, and hope that you can stop yourself well enough without careening off the stage by accident. Your saving grace is that the timer itself runs by really slow, so you can actually take a little bit of time studying the layout and know where the keys are placed, along with having to find a hidden Chaos Emerald in one of the stages. This game is also available for download on the 3DS, but after watching this review, would you really want to? I'd say just watch somebody's playthrough of the game to save yourself the pain of playing it and keep your distance from this game, along with the next game in this episode, Sonic Blast. Basic plot is that Dr. Eggman's causing terror, Sonic teams up with Knuckles to stop him, and that's it. I'm mostly playing as Sonic in this review because if you played Sonic 3 and Knuckles prior, then you already know that the abilities Knuckles have are gliding mid-air and climbing walls. Sonic in this game, however, does have a double jump from the start that can be used anytime. This is Sega's attempt of using pre-rendered graphics into a handheld like the Game Gear and in the Brazil-only Master System version, along with having some 3D effects in the special stages, much like a certain Primate for the SNES. Though the end result comes off as very pixely, and the background designs can give some strain on the eyes. The stages in the game don't have the same appeal as past games did. To get the Chaos Emeralds, you need to find these big rings a la Sonic 3 and Knuckles, which looks no bigger than a regular golden ring, and you're in the 3D field where you need to collect a certain number of rings and there's only one huge ring per zone, so if you mess up even once, you'll miss out on the good ending. Not that it matters at all, as getting all 5 Chaos Emeralds will only show Sonic and Knuckles just standing from a distance, seeing the Eggman base sinking into the ocean. Of the 5 stages, Blue Marine is the worst defender. You'll always move very slow in water stages in any game, but this stage over-exaggerates on the slowness by also having the stage slow itself down and not just yourself. Coupled with the fact that it's hard to find bubbles to keep yourself from drowning, and those tubes again from past games, except in this game, these tubes suck you in almost instantly, giving you no time to react and know which tube that you need to take in order to proceed. May I remind you that you're still underwater and it's still possible to drown while zooming inside those tubes. The only thing I like about this game would be the boss fights. Though mostly predictable, it did try to add some variety of gimmicks, much like Sonic CD did prior, and the only track I do like in this game would be Green Hill Zone, and that's about it. Overall, this is not a fun game either. If anything, I would take Sonic Triple Trouble over these titles any day. Sonic Labyrinth gets a 2, while Sonic Blast gets a 4. These games are very unappealing, that I'm going to mention this again. Just watch somebody's playthrough of these games and save your hard-earned money.
Oh man, that had to suck, having to play through those games and talk about it. But at least I'm putting them in the pasture, and at least for the next episode, we're going to end it on a good note. Or at least one of the games. Because up next in the Chronicles, we're going to be looking at 2 Sonic games that has nothing to do with Sonic. In fact, if you notice right here, it's going to involve a certain two-tailed fox. And one of his games is actually really good, and the other... Anyway, I hope you viewers like this video. Thank you so much for taking the time to check my video out. And if you find this video interesting, as well as other content in my channel, feel free to subscribe to my channel at any time, if you haven't done so yet, as well as check me out on social media. It'll help my channel a lot, and I appreciate the support. Until then, this has been Musashi X, and I bid you all farewell, take care, and stay tuned.